You're watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to the second half hour of the Factor Uncensored. We head to Central Texas tonight. A foster care facility in Bastrop, Texas, meant to provide shelter and services for underage girls who were involved in sex trafficking. Turns out it's being investigated for trafficking those very children. State officials say 7 children were sexually and physically abused by 9 staff members at this state-approved facility.
As an advocate and lawyer for children in foster care, it struck me in the gut. It is our worst nightmare to think that we're putting children in a safe place only to find out that they're being exploited over and over again.
For those who haven't been, those who aren't familiar with the story, give us a little background and tell us what happened at this facility.
Sure. So this facility is supposed to be a recovery place for individuals who have been sexually exploited and trafficked, many of them teenagers. And so for youth in foster care, this is often a placement for them once they're rescued from a trafficking situation to be able to recover and get the services they need. Unfortunately, one of the staff members there coerced 2 of the youth into giving nude photos that he then sold to get drugs that he then provided to the youth. Many people knew about this. It was reported to DFPS in January, and these youth were only removed this week.
This week. So what took them so long?
That is the part that is unconscionable and unforgivable, that the department knew about this and sat on this and didn't really do anything about it. My biggest concern is that a lot of times when youth in care report abuse, what happens is that it's the youth versus the adult, and the youth aren't often believed. And so I'm really worried that that's what happened here.
And how harmful can this be to other young people when they hear these young people went to a place to get help and they were put back into the same trap? They were abused again.
It is so hard to get teenagers, especially youth who have been exploited, to agree to go to any type of treatment facility. So many people in their life have failed them. So many adults that they trusted have betrayed their trust. And so now more and more of our youth who are without placement are going to say, I'm going to take my chances on the streets. I trust myself more than I trust anyone else, and I'm not going to go to a facility.
Do we think there will be an internal investigation, or have they started an internal investigation to figure out what the problem was and how this went unanswered, unchecked so long?
I do know that today the Lieutenant Governor put together a special committee in the Senate to start investigating DFPS. He's talking about a potential conservatorship. But what the biggest travesty is that there's been a lawsuit going on for 10 years, exploring and exposing these types of things. And for 10 years, the state has fought that lawsuit, refused to do reforms, and now here we are.
And what kind of reforms do you think we need in our state system here in Texas?
So that's a...
Do I have the time?
So I think there's a few multi-layers. So there are just not enough placements for foster children, especially youth. A lot of the foster families right now are looking to adopt, not looking to foster. And that's created an enormous placement shortage for especially teenagers. We're right now shipping many of our teenagers to facilities out of state in Arkansas and Tennessee and Oklahoma. One of the biggest problems is that our Medicaid program specifically for foster children is very limited. It covers very few services, and most quality providers do not accept that Medicaid plan, so it makes treatment options limited for the recovery of youth. And of course, it always comes down to the money. How much are you going to pay placements and people who are qualified to care for children? Right now, the state's not willing to pay what it should be paying.
Unfortunate situation. Tara Green, Executive Director of Foster Care Advocacy Center, thank you for joining us on the Factor Uncensored, and thank you for being an advocate for the young people out there.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Now, one person at the facility was fired while several others are still being investigated. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you can receive confidential help by calling the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network's hotline 24/7, and it's toll-free. The number is 1-800-656-4673.